It was on this day in 1935 that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed into law legislation that would lift millions of Americans out of poverty.
Social Security became the law of the land 90 years ago today. Maine Senator Susan Collins marked the anniversary with a media release highlighting her recent work that restored the program to public workers in Maine and across the country. She says that some 25,000 people in the Pine Tree State have seen their benefits increase, adding, "For 90 years, Social Security has remained one of the most effective life-saving programs in our nation's history, providing a vital safety net for retirees, people with disabilities, surviving spouses, and children so that they can live with dignity after a lifetime of work or in the face of severe hardship." Let's take a look again at that picture of FDR signing Social Security into law. Standing right behind him, staring directly into the camera, is Frances Perkins.
Name probably sounds familiar. She was the Secretary of Labor at the time, and the way she transformed the country is truly remarkable. So her legacy goes well beyond Social Security. The 40-hour work week, the end of child labor, establishing a minimum wage. She fundamentally changed what it means to work in this country, and she did it all while returning to her family's historic homestead here in Maine. 5 years ago, when Social Security then turned 85, Don Kerrigan filed this report.
We may take the card for granted nowadays, a requirement to get a job, the number a key to who we are. But 85 years ago, Social Security was a momentous change for Americans.
When the law passed, 50% of American seniors were living in poverty. And if they had no families who could take them in, they went to poorhouses.
Sarah Peskin is board chair of the Frances Perkins Center in Damariscotta, named for the remarkable woman who conceived the idea for Social Security and then worked to make it happen.
Just a really exemplary person that I think many of us growing up wish we had known more about.
Perkins was U.S. Secretary of Labor under President Franklin Roosevelt, the first woman to ever hold a cabinet office. And in the depths of the 1930s Depression, she took the Social Security idea to FDR.
The one thing he said is, "I don't want the dole. It shouldn't be the dole."
So Perkins worked with a special commission of other cabinet members to craft a program of old age benefits paid for by employers and workers, with the government also involved. Signed into law on this day in 1935, with Perkins, the only woman, standing behind the president.
Another thing that's really important is that it also includes unemployment insurance. And it's a partnership program, always was, between the federal government and the states.
And 30 years after the signing, Medicare health coverage for seniors would be added. And besides all of us on Social Security, Frances Perkins also matters to Maine because of this house. The Perkins homestead, 7 generations of the family lived here. Frances Perkins herself spent many of her summers in this farmhouse. It's now part of the Perkins Center and a National Historic Landmark. The center plans to open the property next summer as another way to honor the legacy of both Frances Perkins and her family.
And she's buried here. Her will says, "I, Frances Perkins of Newcastle, Maine." This is the place she considered home.
But the real legacy is on that little card we all carry, and a program that remains controversial in Washington after all these years. Senator Angus King says most of it comes down to money.
I think part of it is philosophical, Don, and part of it is that, we got to pay for it. It's a bill that has to be paid, and it's becoming more and more expensive because of demographics, because people are living longer.
King says Congress has to make changes to fix it. Sarah Peskin says if Perkins were around today, she would be leading the effort to ensure the program she began keeps working.
Now the percentage of seniors living in poverty is closer to 10%. It was 50% before Social Security.
Don Kerrigan, News Center, Maine.
And we do want to give you an update on this story. So after years of campaigning, fundraising, and lobbying, the Frances Perkins homestead in Newcastle is now a national monument. Former President Joe Biden issued that declaration in December of last year, making it the second national monument in the state.